Kristin Davis joins us now here as well, part of our live team of political pros that is talking about the convention. Kristin, your take so far on the convention, what do you want to hear from former President Trump?
Well, I think what we're going to hear from the former president is what we've been hearing all week, a lot of momentum, a lot of excitement, and a lot of unity. I mean, look at a tale of two parties. You have the Republican Party, who's unified, excited, has momentum, while you have the Democrat Party that's, frankly, the party of chaos right now. And so I'm really excited for the president's speech. I think it's going to be very inspiring. I think it's going to bring a lot of people who if you're not on the boat right now, you're going to be on the boat tonight.
We're going to have to wait and see. Kristin, I'm going to pause you right there so we can take to the stage and listen to Linda McMahon.
Well, hello, Milwaukee, and good evening, America. Let me take 1 second to say hello to my fellow delegates from Connecticut. My name is Linda McMahon, and I am the chair of the America First Policy Institute. I'm perhaps one of the few people who's been privileged to call Donald Trump a colleague and a boss, but he's also a friend. Let me share a little story that's probably not the typical Donald Trump story. I had a meeting scheduled with him at Mar-a-Lago, and as he welcomed me, his little 4-year-old granddaughter ran up to him. He scooped her up with delight and asked her, "Who's the most beautiful girl in the world?" And she said, "Me." Then he asked, "And who do you love the most in the world?" And she said, "You, Grandpa." And he kissed her on both cheeks. Then she whisked off his hat and mussed his hair. And he smiled with the love that only a grandfather could have given. I first met Donald Trump when I was the CEO of World Wrestling Entertainment. For fun, he became part of some of the most compelling and highest rated storylines in the company's history. And when he became president, I was honored to serve in his cabinet, running the Small Business Administration. I traveled the country, talking to business owners and job creators. They knew they had a president who understood them and fought for them. He knew that small businesses are the engine of the American economy, and the Trump tax cuts proved to be like rocket fuel for them. Almost every business owner I spoke with was using their tax savings to grow their businesses. And ladies and gentlemen, the U.S. economy was flourishing. But at no moment during my time in the government was more poignant for me than one that happened in 2018. I traveled with the president to view the destruction which Hurricane Florence had levied on my hometown of New Bern, North Carolina. I stepped off of Air Force One and walked side by side with the President of the United States through the hangar where my father had been a shop foreman and my mom had been a budget analyst. I watched Donald Trump walk through neighborhoods of my childhood, comforting those who had suffered such great damages. Because he was a builder, he talked to them about what it would take to rebuild, what kind of materials they should use. And he didn't just show a personal interest, he was one of them. But now Joe Biden and the Democrats want to penalize small businesses again by hiking their taxes. But when he's reelected, Donald Trump will make those tax cuts permanent. And he will also offer new tax cuts like no taxes on tips. Instead of taxing American companies, Donald Trump put tariffs on China that raised billions of dollars and protected American industries. And if reelected, he'll do it again. President Trump is a job creator and the best friend American workers have ever had in the White House. He is a champion of the forgotten men and women, as I have experienced firsthand. But the media doesn't like to acknowledge that very often. Donald Trump is not only a fighter, ladies and gentlemen, he is a good man. He has the heart of a lion and the soul of a warrior. And I believe that if necessary, he would stand at the gates of hell to defend our country. He loves this country, and he would do anything to defend it and to protect us from all harm. I am confident that he will make America great again. And why? Because he did it before. So I ask all of you here tonight, and those of you who are watching from home, to re-elect Donald J. Trump as the 47th President of the United States. Thank you, and good night.
We've just been listening there to Linda McMahon, former small business administrator under former President Trump. We're waiting for the former Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, to take the stage. While we wait, Kristin, I wanted to ask you again, who are some of the more memorable speeches you think over the last week? We were talking about this during the break.
Well, I think everyone's done a great job, but I think Governor Huckabee Sanders from Arkansas, I think she brought the House down. It was a great mix of empathy, personal connection with the president and also just excitement for the future. I think Senator Tim Scott, Senator Marco Rubio, Governor DeSantis, Governor Youngkin, everyone did a really great job, all sticking with the theme that, we are now, everything's different today than it was last Friday. Really puts it into perspective, really grateful that President Trump is okay. And I think the renewed sense of unity that our party has is something that I don't think we've seen in maybe 2 decades. And so every speaker is doing a great job of really personifying it from the stage. So I think
do you think Senator J.D. Vance delivered for the ticket? And do you think he delivered the speech that former President Trump wanted?
I think he did. People are going to get to know Senator Vance over the next few months. Yeah. They're going to read the book. They're going to watch the movie. And it's going to be, he gave us a little bit of that last night with his mom in the box. It was such a moment when he, shouted out to his mom. I think everyone in the country thought of their own mom or grandma at that moment.
It was funny when people started chanting JD's mom, JD's mom. It was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Something that was a little different. About tonight, and speaking about former President Trump, there has been sort of this softening, if you will, of the former president. We saw his granddaughter come out. You mentioned Governor Huckabee Sanders, talking about this side that maybe a lot of American voters don't see, if ever. I do want to ask you, do you think that's intentional, and do you think it's to appeal to some female voters that other strategists have made that point?
I think it is. I think we've seen this entire campaign, a different campaign and a very disciplined and strategic campaign, and I think that is part of it. I mean, the thing with Donald Trump is even before he ran the first time, he had been in everyone's living rooms for years, and so everyone thought they knew him, and now seeing him as the grandfather, I thought his granddaughter stole the show last night.